The Ecowas Parliament resolution reached during its delocalized engagements in the sub-region focused on the consolidation of democracy, regional economy, the conduct of the peaceful elections, mounting security threats, attainment of greater stability, and raising a collective barricade against social upheavals in the West African sub-region. My guest is from the Republic of Senegal. He is the Speaker of the 4th Legislature of the Ecowas Parliament, Moustapha Cessi. Welcome to Diplomatic Ties.
Vous êtes le bienvenu, Excellence, Monsieur le Président du Parlement de la CEDEAO. Thank you very much for your kind invitation to share with you topical issues pertaining to the Parliament.
The program will be taking a look at some of the resolutions reached by the Parliament during its delocalized meetings, just after this time out. Once again, thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
You took a couple of resolutions during your delocalized meetings, and one of it was giving a deadline for the commencement of the Ecowas common currency in the West African sub-region.
Merci de cette invitation et je voudrais tout simplement vous préciser que les réunions délocalisées entrent dans le programme établi pour le premier semestre.
First of all, I would like to thank you once again for inviting me here. And I'd like to precise that the essence of the delocalized meeting is so that decisions reached at that meeting could be tabled during the ordinary session here in Abuja so that final approval and final that is endorsement of those decisions could be reached.
De la communauté. Les thématiques les plus importantes, c'était la...
Okay, so during this delocalized meeting, topical issues have been discussed. And the first one was the common currency, which was discussed at Dakar, while the second one was the PPP, the public-private partnership, which we discussed in Accra shortly afterwards.
One of the other reasons was the fact that you moved a resolution that national governments of member states of the Ecowas sub-region must always abide by the resolutions of Ecowas Parliament. How do you intend to achieve this?
Oui, comme vous le savez, le Parlement a une mission régalienne d'accélérer le processus d'intégration au niveau de notre communauté. Pour cela, nous devons travailler en synergie avec
Okay, first of all, I would like to say that you know the essence of the Parliament and the objectives of the Parliament is to be able to fast-track sub-regional development. And so in order to achieve this, we need to work with all the parliaments of the member states in order to get their input, and we also work with committees of those parliament. Now, one of the key points that we discuss is the issue of common currency, and because we are expressly mandated by the chairman of the task force, His Excellency Mr. Mohamed Yusuf, to discuss the modalities for the common currency and table them before the authority of heads of states and government for their decision. The second point is the public-private partnership. And one of the key points discussed therein is how to create employment. You know that unemployment is at a galloping rate and is taking a frightening dimension. And this has birthed other challenges such as clandestine immigration, drug trafficking, arms trafficking, to mention but a few. So the objectives of this delocalized mission is to be able to sit down, discuss and provide solutions. Precisely during the Accra meeting, we discussed PPP and the success stories, and the objective eventually is that when we get back to Abuja, we are going to fine-tune the decisions with a view to tabling them before their excellencies, the heads of state and government, for implementation.
Que nous allons valider ici à Abuja pour soumettre à l'attention des chefs d'État un plan d'action à mettre en œuvre pour l'ensemble de la communauté.
I remember the last time you featured on this program, you assured us that the Ecowas Parliament is going to do everything to support the African Union towards achieving the vision of Agenda 2063. How far with this?
Vous savez bien que nous sommes dans une communauté bien organisée qui est la CEDEAO. Et nous travaillons en étroite collaboration avec la Commission, c'est l'exécutif de la communauté. C'est la raison pour laquelle toutes les politiques entreprises au niveau de l'Union africaine comme au niveau de la CEDEAO, le Parlement s'engage à côté des pouvoirs publics.
Okay, like I did say earlier, you know, we are working within a very organized sub-region, and Ecowas is a very organized sub-region. And what we do at the parliament is to try to work hand in glove with the executive in order to bring about the required development that we all crave for. And that is why all decisions that are taken by parliament are geared towards the implementation of all the set objectives of the sub-region. And one of these objectives, you know, is the continental free trade area, which we have been striving for. And we have a candidate in Ghana, and Ghana, you know, is one of the powerhouses of the sub-region. And that is why the parliament is also working to support Ghana to set up this continental free trade area, which would be of tremendous benefit to the West African sub-region. And that is why, too, in our efforts since 1999 to bring about this continental free trade area, we have embarked upon fast-tracking all aspects of development, which will also ensure a speedy integration of the West African sub-region. And to do that, we need to collaborate with the African Union, as well as all our representatives that are based there. And we hope that with this endeavor, we are going to achieve what no other sub-region, except perhaps the European Union, has achieved in terms of sub-regional integration. You know, too, we are living in a globalized world, and we need to work together in order to destroy the colonial borders that are bequeathed to us, and ensure that we bring about an open, dynamic and competitive society. And so we are doing all this for the people. And after we've done all this, we are going to table this before their excellencies, the heads of states, to ensure that we all succeed together.
Nous travaillons, comme je l'avais dit tantôt, à ce que les chefs d'État puissent avoir la main sur les textes, nous départir des égoïsmes nationaux et essayer d'aller ensemble pour le bien-être des populations.
The focus of the program is on a review of resolution reached by the fourth legislature of the Ecowas Parliament in its just concluded delocalized meeting. Stay tuned.
Being the last segments of the country's reports to be presented to the Ecowas Parliament, Nigeria, Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde took their turn. The Nigerian Member of Parliament who presented the report says the federal government is determined to fight terrorism to a standstill since Boko Haram insurgents has continued to threaten the peace and security of the people.
The government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is determined to integrate and develop the West African sub-region. Nigeria will continue to build upon its actions in implementing regionally agreed commitments with a view to improving the standard of living of its citizens, and will continue to work towards the fulfillment of community development initiatives.
The Guinea-Bissau Member of Parliament, while presenting the country's report, says Guinea-Bissau is looking up to the next summits of the heads of states and governments to extend the mandates of the ECOWAS Stabilization Force, ECOMIP, in the country till the presidential election in October or November this year. This, he says, will enable the force to complete its mission of protecting the people. Every year, countries within Ecowas are expected to submit situation reports to the Ecowas Parliament for consideration and possible advice. While presenting the Senegalese reports, a member of parliament from that country says the country is speeding up efforts to ratify protocols that are remaining for the country as directed by the Ecowas Authority of Heads of States and Governments and the Council of Ministers.
The country has ratified and is fully compliant with 83% of ECOWAS protocols and conventions.
The Member of Parliament representing Liberia says a 5-year program between United States of America and Liberia to provide critical alert information and coordinate government's response for immediate intervention is having financial hiccups. This, he said, is because United States government and the ECOWAS Commission have not totally honored the Memorandum of Understanding for the project.
Only refugee situation that is currently looming in Liberia relates to those Sierra Leoneans who came to the country during the early days of the Liberian Civil War in 1991.
The country reports on Sierra Leone shows that the political situation of the country has continued to improve after the 2018 general elections, and that corruption still remains a challenge.
The 2018 general elections petition cases for the Western area have, however, continued to linger in the courts, whilst the petition cases, largely from the Northern Province, have been thrown out of court for lack of substantive evidence.
Sierra Leone is presently strategizing to counter any terrorism attempts.
Welcome to Diplomatic Ties.
And we're doing our best to make it as convenient and easy as possible for prospective students.
What we can do is just support the efforts of West African countries to integrate, to organize a better regional, political and economic integration.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Diplomatic Ties, building friendship and enhancing oneness among nations. Watch Diplomatic Ties on NTA International.
Thanks for staying tuned. When Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari was appointed by the African Union as the champion of anti-corruption in Africa, you were quoted as commenting that decision, and you said that the ECOWAS Parliament would do everything to ensure that the member states and indeed Africa is galvanized to give strength to the anti-corruption fight in Africa. Have you moved from here?
Nous ne pouvons que féliciter le président Mohamed Buhari pour le travail remarquable qu'il abat à la tête de la République fédérale du Nigeria et au niveau de notre communauté, parce que le Nigeria constitue la locomotive de la CEDEAO et abrite les institutions et agences spécialisées les plus importantes de notre communauté.
I would like to most sincerely thank him and congratulating His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria for the tremendous interest that he has shown in the development of our sub-region, as well as his personal commitment to assist ECOWAS and all its institutions to function and operate smoothly. As you all know, that Nigeria is a powerhouse of this sub-region and is the engine room of this sub-region, and it stands on anti-corruption and money laundering, which have constituted obstacles to development, is very clear and unambiguous. And I will personally say that indeed he is not just a sub-regional anti-corruption champion, he's not just a continental anti-corruption champion, but he is a global icon in the fight against corruption, because the president actually embarks on this fight with the whole of his heart. He's very courageous about it and he's very determined about it, and I am personally praying for him that he succeeds. I'm praying for the sub-region, I'm praying for Nigeria that will succeed in this drive. And I would also like to say that as we strive towards a better tomorrow, that he has our unflinching support in this fight against corruption in order to rid the sub-region of all the ills that the devil said.
Voilà l'appréciation que je peux donner sur le travail que le président Buhari est en train d'abattre au niveau de l'Afrique, au niveau de la CEDEAO et au niveau de la République fédérale du Nigeria.
The 73rd session of the United Nations General Assemblies, one of its focus is to ensure that they mobilize resources, both financial, material, and technical resources to recharge the Lake Chad region. And when this is done, the challenges or threats of insurgency, migration will be checked. So what's your position on this?
Oh, c'est une heureuse initiative, une bonne initiative. Mais je voudrais vous rappeler que nous sommes des États souverains et indépendants. Et nous sommes soumis à des règles dans nos États d'abord, mais dans nos communautés. Parce que le monde maintenant, bien qu'étant globalisé, mais est organisé en sous-blocs.
I would like to say that this is an excellent initiative by the United Nations, and we applaud it. However, you are aware that we are all from sovereign and independent states, even though we know we are bound by the idea of sub-region and harmony and working together and collaborating in order to attain the ideals of the sub-region. However, I'd like to also point out that Ecowas, on its part, has certain priorities, and chief among these is the fight against violence, the fight against terrorism, and the fight against insecurity. And that, so the sub-region is working around the clock in order to curb all these tendencies and bring about needed development, because without peace and security, there can be no development. And that is why their excellencies, the heads of states and governments of the West African sub-region are committed to this. You know that terrorists don't respect borders. They strike along the borders, they strike right at the heart of our capitals. And so as Parliament, we are working together. All the committees are working together, and we are leaving no stone unturned as we strive to bring all these issues of insecurity to an end.
Les exécutifs pour les aider, pour donner notre position sur ces questions. Et nous travaillons à pied d'œuvre sur cela au niveau des commissions compétentes, au niveau du Parlement.
The last question before I let you go, just a double-barrel question. What's your impression about the elections conducted recently in Nigeria, West Africa, in Africa, and also the 74th presidency of the UN General Assembly has been allocated to zones to Africa, and Nigeria has indicated interest to take up that position in the United Nations. What are your comments on these two issues?
Vous savez, la démocratie, c'est un système qui renvoie à la population, qui décide. Mais
as you know, democracy is a system in which the people are supposed to have the final say. However, you know that like in every system, there is no perfect system, and democracies too are not perfect. They come with their imperfections, and that is the case even in countries like the United States of America, even in France, even in Germany. But we must admit that giant strides have been made in our countries. I'm talking of the sub-region, because, you know, before the sub-region was very notorious for coup d'etats and counter-coup d'etats. But this has now become a thing of the past. And so you are aware, of course, that President Buhari defeated incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan, who conducted credible elections, which President Buhari won. And so I'd like to seize this opportunity to congratulate President Goodluck Jonathan for having organized these elections and for having agreed to concede defeat when he was declared to have lost. And so, you know, President Buhari too also organized these elections, and he won. Of course, the elections were not totally perfect, like I did say at the beginning, but you must admit that it was free, it was fair, and it was credible. And Nigerians really voted massively for the president, and today he's re-elected. So I'd like to congratulate the Nigerian people for their wisdom in voting for the President Buhari. You also recall that it's the same thing in my country, Senegal, where President Macky Sall just won election. He too defeated an incumbent President Abdoulaye Wade, who was there for 2 terms, and President Macky Sall actually defeated him with a landslide 58%. And so we must admit that democracy is taking root in our country, but we still in our countries, but we still have a long way to go. We need to work in order to correct all these imperfections that have been noted. Now, on the idea of Nigeria's presidency, I'd like to assure you that Ecowas, as a body, would support Nigeria in whatever capacity it can.
La candidature du Nigeria, la CEDEAO sera solidaire. Et nous usons des moyens dont nous disposons pour appuyer la candidature du Nigeria. C'est notre rôle le plus absolu.
Well, as much as time will allow, we would have gone taking up other issues, but this way we can end up the program today. I must say, Speaker of the 4th Legislature of the Ecowas Parliament, it was good having you on Diplomatic Ties.
Thank you very much. I'd like to congratulate the journalists for the professional work they are doing, and please, you can count on me at any time for whatever kind of support you may need. Thank you.
That's a wrap on Diplomatic Ties today. We believe you had it insightful while it ran. On behalf of all of us, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Welcome to Diplomatic Ties.
And we're doing our best to make it as convenient and easy as possible for prospective students.
What we can do is just support the efforts of West African countries to integrate, to organize a better regional, political and economic integration.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Diplomatic Ties, building friendship and enhancing oneness among nations. Watch Diplomatic Ties on NTA International.